Uh, well, let me ask you, where are you from, and how did you come down to the Ashley for the Arts? Where's your home?
So we're from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we've been doing this event for about 3 years now. And this is kind of our restaurant and our business, so we travel around, we go to fairs like this, found out about Ashley for the Arts, found out about the contributions for people, how they support people, as well as a chance to grow our business.
This is quite a deal, isn't it, down here? The number of people that it brings in, it's really something, and it's all started with the help of Ashley, And so do you have a restaurant or something in Minneapolis?
This is actually our restaurant. So we have this booth, we have a food truck, we sell gyros, we sell cheese curds, we sell corn dogs. We travel around from event to event. All over Minnesota, all over Wisconsin. You'll find us every Monday up in St. Germain, Wisconsin. We go to Ely, we travel around. So you'll see us here to here and time to time. So this is our restaurant. So welcome.
And are you real good at cooking? You have that kind of a skill, right?
I've been doing this since 7 years old, actually, when we first came to the United States back in 1995. I've been flipping pita bread since about 5 years old, and here I am today still working with my parents and my family here. So
that's a really wonderful thing. And where did you come from? What country?
We came here from Bosnia back in 1995. We came in search for a better life as war refugees, and over time we became naturalized citizens, and we're just living our lives here and visiting home once in a while. So
I got to ask you real quickly, what are you making here? This is kind of an unusual food the way it looks to me. Look at all the different ingredients it's got in it.
Yep. So we have chicken divine. It's served with sauteed veggies, tomatoes, onions, peppers on a pita bread topped with a cool cucumber sauce, as well as gyro. The gyro is spinning in the back there. It's basically meat, lamb and beef, stacked on top of itself, seasoned, and then we shave it right off the spit there, and we serve it with veggies and cucumber sauce on a pita bread as well. And then we got our good old Midwestern food over there, corn dogs and cheese curds too. So,
well, is this a certain food that you brought with you, the recipe from Bosnia?
So this food actually originates from the Middle East region. They have kebabs and donors is like the original name of it, but people more are familiar with the name gyro. So, it's Mediterranean, Middle Eastern food that, I feel like everybody could enjoy.
Well, this is really great. Thanks a lot for spending a little time with us. We really appreciate that. Is this your father here working?
Yep, this is my father. He came basically to this country younger than I was, and, he just kind of raised a family, and here we are to this day. We're doing fine, thank God.
You must be the one in charge because you're making him work, your father. That's a good thing to be able to do.
We work together, actually, so we all handle our things. I handle a lot of the taxes, help run the events as well, and he does what he can. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I was just kidding, Well, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the interview. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, we stopped over and interviewed the people from Minneapolis, and the food is very, very, very good. Middle East food, mix of a lot of things, and they gave it to us free. Can you believe that? They gave it to us free. So we're really happy. Nancy and I are really happy. We have a early dinner today down at Ashley for the Arts. Talk to you later. Oh boy. Won't be any left when I get done. Well, we're talking with a person from Superior Fresh that has they're selling things for eating down here at the Ashley for the Arts. And your name is?
Nate.
Nate
Hefty.
Nate Hefty. And do you work for for the company. I know where it is, right up there by Northfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we had a show up there I think a year or two ago. Went through the whole plant, and you got quite an operation there.
Yeah.
You have like a greenhouse that's I don't know how many acres in size.
Yep. Currently, we have a 6-acre greenhouse.
6 acre. Were you building on recently too, or were you going to be adding to that?
We are currently under an expansion that's going to add an extra 8 acres of glass, and that'll bring our total up to 14 acres under glass.
14 acres under glass, and that's right outside of Trempealeau County, in Northfield, and
Yep.
and so what do you? And you're also raising. I forget the name of the fish.
Yeah, we have Atlantic salmon. It is the first land-raised Atlantic salmon in the United States. And currently that sits in a 1-acre fish house. And we're currently doubling the size of that facility, which will actually quintuple our production to around 1.5 million pounds a year.
Wow. As I went through there and talked to different people and their skills and so forth, I realized you could go in a desert somewhere, a desert that was couldn't grow anything, and you'd have food. You had vegetables and you'd have fish, which is unbelievable. And I believe I remember that they got their eggs. They call them eggs. We didn't see any. We saw some small fish there, but they get that from another country.
Yeah, we do import our eggs originally from Iceland. At one point, we hatch them on site and raise them all the way to harvest, and it takes about 24 months to raise an Atlantic salmon.
24 months. That's a couple years.
Yeah.
Couple years. And have you had them? You've sold some by now, haven't you?
Yes.
A mature salmon.
All of our Atlantic salmon are currently sold out, which is obviously our demand has increased our need to expand our fish house, and so we're really excited to get more in the pipeline here.
So how big an area do you cover for sales?
Midwest is our key market right now, so Minneapolis to Chicago. We like to make sure that it's local and so that we have a longer home life for our customers.
Well, it's just and this is owned by Todd Wanick's family, I think.
It is, absolutely. Todd and Karen have put a lot of resources behind Superior Fresh, and they're continuing to help us grow the model.
And what amazed me is they get the water out of the ground. They take the water for the fish out of the ground. Is that right?
That is right. You have to, first and foremost, have the best water quality in the world to make this operation work. Absolutely.
And they actually have a way of restoring the water. I kind of forget just how they do that, but they restore the water so it's really utilized again.
Absolutely. So we recirculate our water between our fish house and our greenhouse, and we recirculate 99.9% of our water, and any unused water gets captured and used as irrigation on our alfalfa fields. So we have zero water discharge to the surface of the state, which is an amazing testament to their sustainability.
Well, I was absolutely amazed when we got into the greenhouse. I find that the plants, they're germinated with, I guess, a little soil, but all they had was water. They had many acres of water there, and so the plants, when they were germinated in the germinator, they went into the water. So the roots went into the water, and apparently there's nutrients and things that are added to the water to make them grow.
Absolutely. So we actually utilize the nutrient-rich water and all the waste from our fish, and we turn that into a usable form of nitrogen for our plants to uptake for nutrients. The plants, in turn, clean our water, and we are able to send that water back to the fish.
Well, it's just amazing what you got going up there. And you're down here. Are you selling something to eat here at your booth?
Absolutely. We are selling some amazing product today, fresh from our farm. And we have everything from teriyaki ginger salmon skewers to smoked salmon bacon wraps to triple berry Greek salmon salads and even some smoothies with fresh kale. So a lot of great options today.
Boy, you have a lot of. How many different types of vegetables do you grow out in that, or whatever you call them, out in the water greenhouses?
We've got a couple dozen varieties that we're growing out there, and we turn that into a good dozen SKUs that we sell out to retail and food service today.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. This is on Trumpealeau County Community Television, so it'll be shown many times.
All right.
Yeah. And so thank you very much, and keep up the good work.
All right.
You're outstanding.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, look at what we've got going on here. If this isn't a bunch of mischief makers from Independence, I don't know what's going on. What are you gentlemen doing down here this weekend?
Hey, we're enjoying the weekend. Dale Scraw and I are here for Indy Powerlifting out of Independence High School, and we are in charge of ground control.
And now, when you say you're doing ground or crowd?
We are doing ground control. Basically, we're in charge of keeping the grounds clean, hauling the refuse to the dumpsters, stuff like that.
Okay, now I'm going to hand this microphone over to you so I don't have to stretch and get off my center of balance and fall over.
Okay.
But now, what are you doing with the power lifters? Give us a little bit of information of why you're volunteering down here this weekend at Ashley for the Arts.
Yeah, it's great to come here and help volunteer. It's good for everybody that shows up in that. For the powerlifters and that, it gives us a good, since we're a nonprofit organization, a little bit of extra money to help our kids get suits and equipment and that for lifting and that, and it goes a long ways for helping us train our kids in that.
Yeah. We travel a little bit for our competitions, so when it comes to going to the state meet, which is held in Appleton, and then the national meet, which is it changes locations every year. We also try and gain money through this to help people defray the costs for our kids to be able to go to those contests and compete.
And now, what was the justification? And I have a little bit of prior knowledge because all of our kids lifted together to a certain extent. Yep. What was the driving force behind starting up a powerlifting program in Independence?
I coached football for 12 years, and I didn't have any boys for children, so I had two girls. And me being an old powerlifter myself from many years ago, my daughters grew up in the weight room. And the same thing with Dale. His daughter's growing up with him, and pretty soon, you start looking at your own kids getting bigger, and I thought, I'm missing out there. So I took a little break from coaching football, and we started this thing in Independence 16 years ago with one kid, and it's blossomed into an amazing story for Independence High School.
It hasn't blossomed. It's gotten way out of hand. I don't know how many Saturdays I spent with you guys, gym after gym, different school after different school, but what a fantastic opportunity for kids across Wisconsin and the nation to become neighbors, to rebuild community, to build self-esteem while they're actually putting on some pretty tight clothes so that they're able to say, squat 500-600 pounds.
Yep. The equipment does help quite a bit. Like I said, you get, depending on the person, everybody's different. They'll gain maybe 50, 75 pounds out of some of the suits and that they put on and that. So it's a benefit.
Yeah.
And it's all for safety.
Yes.
There's been a big movement lately. They're going equipment free, which is what they call a raw category. And it's like putting on a wrestling singlet and you throw on a weightlifting belt and away you go. So that's really taken over because the price of equipment has gotten so high. This has helped, with a lot of our budgets. So
do you know how many pokes I got in my fingers trying to stitch those shoulder straps down because the suit was just a little bit too big? Now, across Trempealeau County, how many lifting squads are there?
Oh boy.
I would say
GET, Cochrane Fountain City has had them. Blair had one in the past, kind of on and off. Whitehall, Independence. Holman, that'd be getting into close to La Crosse County. It's been a fair amount of people, and we work really close with Whitehall High School. John Kleinhans is a coach there, and really trying to build the programs. There just seems to be more and more programs popping up every year.
Well, we certainly appreciate the guidance that you're providing our young people as they're coming up through the ranks. And now, I don't think you guys have lifters anymore. Everybody's up and out the door.
My two girls are still in college, and they're competing on the college level. Dale's daughter here, to toot Dale's horn, his youngest daughter, how did she do at the state meet?
She won state this year, so
She's our first state champion in Independence High School. So we were just elated. We actually had two of them, Jerry Fredrickson and Dale's daughter, Bethany. Yeah,
it was great. Like I said, we had it is so much improvement. Like I said, we've had two qualifying worlds now here in that this year for the first time. So that's such a great honor for our school
Yeah, we've got an empty bedroom at our house that's full of trophies and medals. I told him, I said, you should auction those off. Thank you so much for the hard work for our communities and for volunteering down here at Ashley for the Arts.
And I'd just like to add from Independence Powerlifting, we would just a huge thank you to Ashley for the Arts. We could not do this without you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Casey Suchanik. We are working in the medical tent at Ashley for the Arts. So basically what we do is if somebody comes in here with an injury, we'll treat them to the best of our ability. We can't really do much, so if it's serious, we have to call 911. But any bandages or water or anything that we can provide them.
How many pieces of chicken get cooked this weekend?
I can't tell you how many pieces of chicken get cooked. I can tell you how many per grill.
Okay. How
It's
many per grill?
in terms of poundage, it's about 125 pounds of chicken in every one of those grills.
And about how many grill things do you do this weekend?
I don't have that info, but it's a lot of chicken. I worked this area last night, and within a 4-hour period, we cooked over 1,000 pounds of chicken.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, out there in TV land, we got a special treat. We got Ron Wanek. He's a founder of the Ashley Industry, the founder, and he's a president of the Ashley Industries. He's the guy that started this whole works, and we're down at Ashley for the Arts, and you were involved with starting that, and I don't know how many years ago that's been, but it's been going for quite a while. I'd like to just talk to you a little about your background. You're a guy that I really admire. I just can't comprehend how you could think so strongly and greatly. And you were born and raised on a farm, as I remember.
Yeah, I was born and raised on a farm near Lewiston, Minnesota, not too far from here, just on the other side of Winona.
And I think I remember something about you going over to an uncle to help him make. He was a farmer, but he made furniture on the side when you were young.
Well, my great uncle and my grandfather made furniture on the side, and my great uncle was head of maintenance for J.R. Watkins, but he also in his spare time weekends manufactured furniture and built boats. So it was always interesting to see what he was doing, and I thought that was always pretty neat. I thought it would be great someday to manufacture furniture. These guys did it for a hobby, and I really wanted to manufacture furniture.
And then, if I remember right, you went to high school where?
In Lewiston, Minnesota.
Lewiston, Minnesota. And when you got out of high school, I believe you started working for a company, a furniture company in Winona.
Yeah, it was Winona, Minnesota was Winona Industries. They manufactured cabinets. Now, the young people today won't understand it, but back in the old days, we made wood TV cabinets and wood stereo cabinets. And they made the cabinets, and they, of course, were sent to primarily Tennessee, where they would have what we call the guts, the innards put into them, the tubes and TV players and all that sort of thing. So we made cabinets. And then in about late 60s, that business started to go to Japan, and the cabinets were all plastic. So we needed to go into a different kind of business. And as I said, I always wanted to manufacture furniture. So myself and some partners then started what was then Arcadia Furniture and evolved into Ashley Furniture Industries.
I believe that was about 1970, I believe.
Yeah, 1970 is when we started in Arcadia. There was cabinet plants here, 3 different ownerships, and they had failed. And but there was good expertise in this area as far as woodworking, and so we went into making furniture.
And do you remember how many people they employed when you bought the furniture company in Arcadia?
Yeah, well, I didn't buy it. We started it from scratch. It was an empty building that was here that was previously occupied by cabinet building people that made cabinets for the TV industry. We did the same thing in Winona, but they did the same thing here. And as that business went to plastic, there was no longer any business, and they went broke. And so the building sat empty for a period of while. And then we went into it, started manufacturing furniture, 35 employees and 35,000 square feet. Today, Ashley has 30,000 employees and about 20 million square feet.
Well, you've got quite a deal going. I know a little about it, but not much. And you have a bus that's equipped. They do all kinds of things, welding and all kinds of manufacturing things in this big bus. And I think there's 4 schools. I think it's Independence, Whitehall, Blair, and Arcadia. That the bus goes between. Is that correct?
Yeah, but you're just fined $5.
What?
You called it a bus. It's a laboratory. Anybody that calls it a trailer or a bus gets fined $5. So you owe the foundation $5.
I'll give you the $5 as soon as we're done interviewing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's 900. It's 900 square feet. It's like a trailer, but it has expandable walls that go out. And you've seen them sometimes, maybe on RV trailers. So it extends out to 900 square feet, and they can seat about 40 students in it. And they got all the latest. It's got over $2 million worth of equipment in it.
Wow. Was that all sponsored by you?
Yes, it was a $3.5 million project, including the trailer that goes with it. And I can use trailer in this case because it started out as a trailer, but it became a laboratory.
And is the objective of that is to try to get the students trained in some fields so they can get out of high school and get a job?
Exactly. And also it's training that they won't get in colleges for the most part. So Ashley is doing a lot in technology and robotics, and we not only do this in this area here, but we do it wherever we have a plant in Pennsylvania, Mississippi, and North Carolina, wherever we have huge employments, because you can't hire technical people. The schools simply aren't educating people in the area of technology and engineering. They don't want to spend the money. Education is a business, and it costs about 3 to 4 times as much to train an engineer as it does the liberal arts, and they don't want to spend the money.
Well, I understand now, Todd. He's a CEO, and he's doing a real good job. And I did. This might be a rumor, but I thought I heard that you had a grandson that was working also.
Well, Todd has been the CEO of the company since 2002. I was a CEO. I'm the founder and chairman today, but Todd's president and CEO. We have a 3rd generation coming up. Laura Forsythe, one of my granddaughters, is finance, and Travis Wagner, Sherry Wagner's son, is global manufacturing, and Cameron Wanek is IT and e-commerce, and also so Todd is still CEO, and so we have a definite line of succession. Our 3rd generation loves the business; they're passionate about it, and probably going to be better than Todd and I.
Well, you sound like you got quite a family going there. Now I got to ask you a little bit about this Ashley for the Arts. What was it that kind of motivated you to get something like this started?
Well, we have a lot of great craftsmen in the area, and originally it started out as a craft project. And anyway, so local craftspeople display their goods. And then in addition to that, you can hear the music in the background. We have a lot of musical talent that goes on, but it's a huge event. Last year it drew 70,000 people, and it's a charitable event. It gave about 500,000 to charity. There's over 4,000 8-hour shifts that go into this. Local schools bring kids and football teams and choirs and you name it and work on it, and then proportionally for the amount of effort that they put into the project, they share the profits. So it's a great fundraiser for the area schools that participate, in addition to being great for recognizing our local craftsmen and just putting together a great community event where you get everybody together. It's a great car show going on here right now, many other acts that go on, but just the talent that we have in the area that's displayed by the schools and by the craftsmen. That's what it was all about.
And a lot of artists here also.
Yeah, I'm including that in the craftsmen. They're obviously artists and craftsmen and great work. And I went through the displays this morning and better than ever.
Well, I'm kind of running out of questions, but I think you've done a real good interview. Tremendous. You're a great guy. You're thinking way beyond the normal person, and your ability to comprehend what's going to happen in the future. You got something there that most of us don't have.
Well, Owen, I watch a lot of your programs, and it's great that you do what you do and go around and recognize events and charities and just other things that happen in industry in the area. You do a wonderful job, and for a youngster like you, you're doing a good job.
Well, I'm almost 86 years old, so thank you. And thank you for the interview.
Well, you're still just a kid. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we're at a booth here at the show down here. We're at a booth, and it has to do with diabetes. And the supporter of this operation is Todd Wanek. Todd Wanek is a CAO at Ashley Industries. Been a CAO for a number of years.
16 years, yes.
16 years. And he's Ron's son. And we also have with us Dr. Ruth, and he's from the Netherlands, they tell me, from the Netherlands.
Originally, that's right, yes.
And I happen to be really interested in this because I did a little talking with people, and they said that you're going to try to cure diabetes. And I happen to have been a diabetic for like 25 years or a little over, and I'm taking 5 shots every day and taking a couple pills every day. So I'm really interested in what you're doing. And the guy behind the support, financial support, is the Wanek family, and Todd in particular. And what initiated you to donate? I think your father said $60 million to this 50 million. Tell us about that.
So my son is type 1 diabetic. So this is a program for type 1 diabetes and to cure type 1 diabetes. And we got involved with City of Hope. Our involvement with City of Hope has been probably over 20 years. And we've raised money for him through the furniture industry and contributed money to him over the years for cancer. And then we got involved, and we were trying to find somebody that had an interest or organization that had an interest in curing type 1 diabetes. And we came across City of Hope. And we also work with some other organizations, but they were so well prepared They had so much energy behind it and so much expertise, and the commitment by City of Hope was absolutely fantastic. So we're really, really delighted to be associated with them and their path to cure type 1 diabetes.
Well, that's really a special deal. I want to thank you for that. That's something else. I'd have been dead many years ago if it wouldn't have been for insulin. I think insulin was discovered about 1923, up in Canada of all places, by a country doctor. So thank you very much for everything that you're doing. And the City of Hope, is that the name?
City of Hope, yes. And in fact, at City of Hope, in exactly 40 years ago, Dr. Art Ricks made synthetic insulin. So before that time, we had to take it from cattle. And now we can actually make it synthetic. So we can make as much as we want for as many people as we want. So that's one of the major breakthroughs and milestones in the history of diabetes.
And where's your operation? You're doing research and you're doing things to try to cure diabetes. Where is this being done?
So much of the research is being done in Los Angeles, in Duarte, where City of Hope has its headquarters. But this is a global activity, much like Ashley Furniture. We do where the things are done best. So some of the things are done in Europe, and some of the things we do in collaboration with partners on the East Coast or further north. And what we're trying to do is really change the therapy for diabetes from treating the symptoms, which is giving insulin, to actually targeting the cause. So it's a completely new chapter in therapy of type 1 diabetes, and we're extremely excited. I should apologize, though, that it took so long for you to wait for us, but now we have a strict timeline there, and we want to deliver on the very short term. So much of the research we do is at the bedside. We really don't care for curing mice, we want to cure human beings. And that's where we found a fantastic partnership with the Warnick family, because they have the same sense of urgency and the same ambition. Why aim lower? We won't settle for anything less but curing type 1 diabetes.
Well, that's a tremendous thing, you know. I've lived with it for, at least 30 years, I think. And it don't get better. It keeps you alive. Insulin keeps you alive. But you're trying to figure out what's causing the diabetes. What's the cause?
So we used to say that it was a mistake of the immune system. It's the immune system that is attacking the source of insulin, the tissue that makes insulin. But we just discovered that that's not actually the case. So I say don't blame the immune system. It's the cells that make insulin that make a mistake. And the immune system is responding to it. And that's a very important new insight, because it means if we want to cure, we must first deal with the immune system, but we also must make the cells that make insulin happy again. And that's the novelty that we have in this program, and that's why the partnership with the Warnick family was just at the right time, because now we can accelerate our research and our trials to get it into the patients as quick as we can.
How did you know about the Warnick family? How did you get together? You're in California and he's in Wisconsin.
I think that's a question that Todd is great at answering.
So we've been involved, as I said earlier, with City of Hope for over 20 years with cancer research. So when we started looking for somebody to cure type 1 diabetes, we came to the City of Hope. One of the things that research suffers from is continuous funding. They can't put together teams because they can't fund it over a period of time. They go and get like grants for research from the government, but that only has a short time period. So this allows them to continuously be funded and then eventually put together a team and then work on cures and scientific methods.
And you've committed $50 million. Boy, that's phenomenal. That's really phenomenal.
It was the best time in my life when we started partnering with the Warnick family. It's my 1982 moment in that sense. It really changed the whole way that research is being done, and it accelerates it threefold probably. So because we don't have to waste our time in continuously, we do raise funds. I mean, we cannot rest and relax. No, we have to keep on raising funds, but it gives you the core business so that we can actually have the continuity that you were just indicating, so that we don't have to slow down on our way to reach the patients. That is essential.
Well, it's a complicated job, isn't it? You know, I've always kind of thought that it was an inherited thing. You know, I had two uncles that had diabetes, so I thought, well, I'm one of the.
Can I set that straight, sir? Because I think people with type 1 diabetes, the genes that give you a high risk are the best genes to have to fight cancer. So count your blessings. Except the immune system becomes so enthusiastic that it can actually be a little over the top. That we can tailor, that we can regulate now. We have vaccines for that and so forth. But type 1 diabetes patients have the best genes in the world, and so be proud of it.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to add? I think it's phenomenal what you're doing. It's just outstanding. I can understand it better than most people because I am a diabetic and I know what you're trying to get done.
No, I think these are very, very exciting times, not just to the patients, also to us, because every day we get closer to what people believe was impossible, which is curing type 1 diabetes. And I am now convinced that we'll be able to do it. And thanks to the partnership we have with the Wanek family, I think we can get there even faster. So I can't wait to go back to California and increase the research.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Keep
very
up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we have another place where different things are being discussed, and I don't know even what they are. We got Jen here. She's going to tell us what this booth is all about.
Yeah, so our booth is focused on hypoplastic left heart syndrome, which is a congenital heart disease that's found in babies at birth. So basically, these babies are born with half of a heart. Their left ventricle is severely underdeveloped.
Oh boy! And where do you work out of to do? That's complicated things. That's your research you're doing.
Yeah.
Where are you doing that?
We're doing that out of Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, and we're all funded by Todd and Karen Wanek, which we're incredibly grateful for.
Well, I think I heard them say that they donated $100 million. Is that right? $100 million from the Wanek family?
Yep. Yes. Yep.
What do you think motivated them to donate so much money?
I think they have a personal connection with the disease, and they understand that it's a rare pediatric disease that impacts 1,000 families every year, and so they understand the need to fund such research.
Are they making any progress on having some improvements in some way or another?
Yeah, we're really excited about our research and all of the work that we've been able to do to translate to patients. So we have a number of clinical trials underway right now. Our largest is in phase 2, so that means that we're testing patients. We also treat patients all over the United States for this disease.
That's a heart problem.
Yep.
Are the people here going in and looking at some pictures of some accomplishment or something like that?
Yeah, so really we're here today to thank Todd and Karen Wanek and to bring awareness to the public of all the work that they've been able to do to support our research. And then if we can bring general public awareness to this rare disease, we want to do that too.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a whale of a job. And keep up. You're a nurse or something then at Rochester?
Yeah.
Mayo?
I'm actually a program manager, so my job is really just to kind of keep everything moving.
Oh, keep everything going. You're doing a good job. Thank you very much. Thanks for the interview. Bye. I got to ask you your name.
Julia.
Julia, are you active in, there's a booth here concerning TC robotics.
Yes.
What is that?
It's a robotics competition team, FRC, which is First Robotics Competition. It is run through our local area high schools, which is consisted of 5 schools, which is Independence, Whitehall, Blair Taylor, Arcadia, and GET.
This looks like it's kind of a complicated deal here.
It is, But we have a really great team that understands what we're doing. So it really all comes together within the 6 weeks. Since all the snow days, we actually had about 3.5 weeks to complete it, and we built 2 robots, the same thing in 3.5 weeks.
Were you one of the builders?
I did the frame, which is the SolidWorks, and I also did the wheels, and I also helped build it as schools were closed. I did come up and I helped, so that really came really long.
You mean this was built by high school kids?
Yep.
In Whitehall, Independence?
Yep, all those 5 area schools.
Yeah.
We all built it up at the Ashley Automation area building up in Arcadia, Wisconsin. We all come together on weekends and weekdays, and we just build and we just go hard until we are satisfied.
Well, this is something else. And high school kids put this together. Must have had the instruction from a real good instructor.
Yes, we do. We have 2 mentors that started this program last year. Betty Baker and Andy Baker, no relation at all. My dad is Andy, and he works out of the Ashley Automation shop here in Arcadia. So him and Betty just started this last year, and it's really taking off. Last year, we won our very first robotics competition in Duluth, Minnesota, and we competed in the Worlds last year, and we did very well. And then this year, we competed, and we also did very well, but we didn't go to Worlds.
Well, thank you very much for the interview. Boy, this is out of this world, something like that.
Thank you.
And to think that high school kids put it together.
It's just awesome.
Well, there's a lot of art here at Ashley for the Arts. Many people. I wonder how many there really is. We're with a special people because they're from near Whitehall, and there's Wendy Schaefer.
That's correct.
And
Kevin Miles.
Yes, they live right on the outskirts of Whitehall, and you have a little business there too, don't you? Or maybe a big business.
Well, we have our studio, and we work out of there, and it's in a renovated barn buildings there that we've had for many years, and Kevin and I have been traveling around from that location to different art festivals and events.
You're down here. You're usually here at Ashley for the Arts for this festival down here, aren't you? You're usually here.
We miss a few years, but we try to come as often as our schedule allows.
Now, I've been told that you're one of the few artists that combine and work on the same art project together. That's kind of out of the ordinary.
Yeah, we started accidentally doing that like 32 years ago, and I think we painted like 4,000 paintings so far together, so people seem to like it. We just keep doing it.
So you kind of complement each other's with your art. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, we're stylistically different, and so when it comes to painting, I'm more impressionistic, and Kevin's more of a realist, and we blend those 2 styles together.
Well, you are a very good artist. You've got determined that you're the best of the show, and that's really something to receive.
Well, it's really an honor coming from the Ashley for Arts organization, and what they do for the community is really amazing. So we're very proud to have been a part of it.
Well, it's just really outstanding. Yeah. And by the way, my son, I think we were down for a family reunion here a couple of weeks ago, down in the Indianapolis area, and he's got a really big, it's nice painting that you put together for him. Yeah, it was a kind of a Norwegian background, and it looks terrific.
That's awesome. Yeah, we really enjoyed working with everybody on commissions, and your family in particular, because you're from Whitehall.
Well, are you still? You have in the past had some shows at different places. It seems like someplace out west you were at. Are you still there?
Yeah, I just got back from 4 shows in Aspen, Beaver Creek, Steamboat Springs, and Keystone, Colorado. That was last month, so I just drove back from Colorado. Wendy's having a foot issue, so she kind of was toddling around home, working in the garden and trying to do what she could do at home. But we get a lot of support up in the mountains. There's a lot of second homes, and people from everywhere go to the mountains in the summer. So it's a great market for art. We love it. We love Wisconsin. You know, it's we always say when we retire, we're going to stay home and paint Wisconsin someday. But we paint a lot of Wisconsin too. So
Well, you've done a lot of paintings in your lifetime, and they've always been good, real good.
Thank you. It's our joy and pleasure to share it with everybody. So,
Well, how are things selling here at the fair?
well, there's been a lot of people out, lots of interest, but you know, with artwork, it takes people got to think and measure and figure out what kind of space they've got. So it's more publicity than
most
selling.
of our market is on cruise ships all over the world. We're on 165 cruise ships. We'll go to Miami, we'll sign 9,000 prints, and then in a month or two, they send us a crate with another 2,000 or 3,000 prints. And we just found out a lot of them are selling in China now, which is cool. And they actually have cruise ships in China that they sell our art on, so that's kind of fun.
Wow, you're expanding.
I guess so.
We're with Mary Garrock and her husband. Her husband's name is George. He's an expert at making things out of wood with a chainsaw. And you'd like to show us what's going to be in a sign up at Fredericks. I think they call it Frederickson Park in Whitehall. Just as you're leaving, as you're going toward Blair, they've got the where it's going to be shown. They got that built. But you'd explain what he's doing here that's going to be put in that.
Yeah, from the tree that was in Whitehall, there's a Velcomen till Whitehall sign. It's 3 different carvings and also a troll and a fiddle or violin that's all made from the branches from the big tree that was next to the train tracks there in Whitehall by the gazebo in town. So there's going to be a big service on Friday about that.
Here's a picture. And it'll be a Norwegian picture on the side. This is all made with chainsaw. And her husband, you can hear him working in the background. How long has he been doing this cutting with a chainsaw? Artistic cutting.
I think he's been doing the carving with the chainsaw about 5 years, but he's been cutting with a chainsaw since he was like 14 years old, but just doing the carving for the past 5 years now. So
he's got a certain art about him in his mind. It's an art form with a chainsaw, which is kind of hard to comprehend.
yeah, reductive sculpture, I guess, is what you technically call it, because you start with a piece and then you're just reducing, you're taking away. It's a different form of art because you can't be adding to it. You just start with one piece and you're whittling away with the chainsaw to get what becomes your piece of art in the end.
Does he have a kind of a little drawing or something that he puts together before he starts chainsawing?
Sometimes he'll kind of sketch out what he has in mind, or he'll have a little figurine or something that he looks at, and then he'll kind of decide how he's going to go about what he's doing.
Do you ever help him with any of the chainsawing?
Sometimes he'll have me be fueling and sharpening his saws, or he always asks me for my opinion of what he should be doing, if there's any other ideas I have for his piece of art.
Well, you guys are you own farms and you work somewhere off the farm. Yes, I do. And boy, oh boy, you milk cows?
Yes, we have a dairy farm near Independence. We had the Trempealeau County Dairy Breakfast out there this year. We try to promote agriculture wherever we can. And as you said, I work full-time off the farm, too, as a nurse.
Do you have a lot of children that help with the farming? Or?
We have 4 boys and a girl. The oldest is 20 and the youngest is 11. But the older ones have jobs of their own and they're going out into the world. So
I don't know how you do it all. But it's real interesting to see what that sign is going to look like. It's going to be, I didn't realize it was going to be made by your husband with a chainsaw. And so congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thanks for stopping to see us today here at Ashley Arts.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What is your name?
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm here with Book Your Next Event Entertainment.
Where's that out of?
It's based out of Wisconsin, but I flew in from Baltimore, Maryland.
Well, how long have you been doing this type of work?
I've been doing this for almost 10 years.
And how do you stay? Don't you ever fall down, hit a little icy spot or wet spot or something?
Oh, no, I'm very careful.
Well, what motivated you to get into this field? Do you travel all over the country? You do walking on stilts?
I do travel all over the country doing all sorts of circus entertainment. I just love it. I just fell right into it.
I notice as we're talking here, you're moving all the time with your feet.
Yeah, so I have to keep balanced on peg stilts. It's a balancing act the whole time. I'm stepping back and forth to keep myself up.
How long did it take you to learn that?
I would say a good amount of practice, at least 3 or 4 good days of practice. I was doing okay.
Boy, you're tremendous. I don't understand how you have the ability to do that. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Good meeting you.
Bye.